Hello everyone, this is Bola. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So in today's video, I'm going to share 6 essential tips to help you get through if you are facing financial hardship. And financial hardship is something that no one wishes upon themselves, and no one wants to find themselves in a space where they're facing financial hardship. However, it does happen. And it's important to keep in mind that when it comes to people who are facing financial hardship, it's not always because of financial irresponsibility. There are a wide variety of factors that can cause someone to find themselves in a space where they're struggling financially. They could have had a long-term loss of income, a death in the family, a long-term illness, trying to get out of a bad relationship, or escaping domestic violence. It could even be someone who just recently started their financial journey, but then they were hit with all kinds of things that are now causing them to face this financial difficulty. And facing financial difficulty can be very stressful. It can have a negative impact on your physical health and also your mental health. And so I'm going to share 6 key and essential tips if you find yourself in the space where you're going through financial hardship so that you can better get through the situation. So the first thing you want to do is you want to adjust your budget to accommodate changes in your income. So the chances are that if you are facing financial difficulty right now, your income has been cut or your expenses have just really gone through the roof. And so you want to adjust your budget and start looking at your budget really in a detailed way to determine, are there any things that you can cut back on, you can do without, so that you can try to accommodate your living expenses in your budget. If you have no income right now and you have to leverage debt, you can still plan your spending even if you are spending on debt, right? You want to make sure that you lay out all your expenses that you're going to pay for and how much you're going to pay to each one of those expenses. And if you're using a credit card or a loan to make those payments, then you can plan to focus that money specifically on your needs and not any non-essential spending, so you can minimize how much debt you take on in total. As you review your budget, your goal is to prioritize what is most important. So that is your food and medicine, safe housing, your core utilities like your water, your electricity, even internet if you work from home, and transportation to be able to get to work or to be able to go pick up those essentials. So you really want to, again, take a good hard look at your budget and prioritize where you should be spending your money, identify the gaps, and this will help you take your next step of action, which leads me into my second step, which is communicating with your lenders and your service providers if you are unable to pay your bills. So given the financial hardship you're going through, if you're struggling to pay your bills, you want to communicate with your service providers, you want to communicate with your creditors and let them know. You don't want to assume that they know you're facing difficulty because there's really no way for them to know. And if you don't tell them, then they can't help you. Many providers, many lenders have different programs that they can help you get into to minimize the financial strain for a period of time, but you have to make that communication. It is important though that when you speak with them and they give you different plan options, that you have an understanding of what these options include, any fees and expenses that are associated, and what the impact is going to be to your credit, and also if at the end of the program they're going to require any form of lump sum payments. Also, you want to find out how interest is being accumulated on your account if that is something that you're currently paying on a credit account, for example. So just asking questions to make sure that you fully understand what you're getting yourself into and making sure that you have that agreement in writing so you can read over it in more detail as well before you make your final decision. Having that communication with your lenders and service providers is really important so that you can weather the storm. And I know a lot of people sometimes carry shame about, having to call up a creditor or having to call up a service provider and say, hey, I'm going through a difficult time right now. But it is okay. By you picking up the phone and taking that action to call and communicate, you're actually taking action in order to improve your situation. So yes, it might be difficult to do, but it is okay. It is okay. Everybody has difficult seasons in life, and your goal is to get through this season. So focus less on the regret and the worry, and instead focus on what can I do to get myself out of the situation as quickly as possible. So just to reiterate, if you do get into a program with a service provider or a lender, you want to make sure that you fully understand that program that they are offering. So you want to make sure you're aware of any fees associated, any costs to set up that program. You want to understand how the payments will be made during the program. You want to understand if any interest is going to be accumulated, and you also want to understand if there are going to be any lump sum requirements at the end of the program. And of course, your service provider or your lender will tell you what you need to provide to prove that you're experiencing that financial hardship in order for them to get you into that program. Next, if you have any bills and collections, you want to see if you can negotiate those bills. So I know a lot of people who have bills and collections are just terrified of even dealing with those accounts. They don't want to open the letters, they don't want to answer the calls, and they kind of just try not to look at it at all and just let it do whatever it's doing. However, that is the wrong approach to take. If you have bills in collections, you have the opportunity to try to negotiate, because at the end of the day, your creditor, the person you owe the money to, the company you owe the money to, wants to be able to recover that money. And sometimes they will take something as opposed to nothing at all. And in turn, you can minimize the impact to your credit, right? And also eliminate those calls and those letters. So it's important that you take time out and just, take a deep breath and figure out what you can do to negotiate those bills. And it could be as simple as calling and saying, hey, I know I owe you X amount, but right now, given my financial circumstances, I can only afford to pay you Y amount. Can we work out an agreement where I give you this amount of money I have over time, and then in turn you can write off the rest of my account, etc. But you want to make sure that if you're getting into this negotiation, you understand how it's going to impact your credit, if any remarks are going to be posted to your credit account, and also just if any other fees are going to be assessed as part of this agreement. So whatever agreement you come to with your accounts and collections, make sure you understand them and also make sure that you get them in writing. Another thing you can do if you're facing financial hardship or difficulty is you can find a side gig to help you bring in extra income. And this is not about your college degrees or whatever skill set you have. This is just about finding a job right now to help you bring money in. And it's okay to work at a customer service job or a courier service job, whatever job that you can find if you really need the money. That money can be put towards your financial obligations and towards getting caught up on your bills. And as I mentioned, you can do jobs like customer service, delivery services, consulting, freelancing. The whole idea is to be able to bring in some extra income to help you deal with this season that you're facing of financial difficulty so that you can get through the storm. And you also want to make sure that if you're going to take time out of your life, out of your schedule, away from your family in order to go and work extra hours, that you have a plan for this money to go towards those financial obligations and towards those bills, so that you can get caught up and get out of this period of financial hardship. It's really important that you designate every single one of your dollars a job to do. So just going back to that first point of taking a good hard look at your budget to make sure that you are fully aware of your big financial picture and you're planning your finances, even though they might be tight, you're planning your finances to the best of your ability so you can maximize being able to use the money you have to meet your financial obligations. And finally, don't give up. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, financial hardship can come up for a variety of different reasons, right? A lot of times it may not even be your fault. However, a lot of people get into this space where they start feeling like, woe is me, I'm so unfortunate, I can never get through this, and they keep themselves stuck. They don't take action to get themselves out of that difficult situation. And what happens is that financial hardship gets extended for a long period of time, and some people just remain in that period indefinitely. And you absolutely don't want that for yourself, especially if you're watching this video. Yes, it might be difficult in the interim. You're going to feel all kinds of emotions. You're going to have a lot of stress around financial hardship that you are experiencing, but you can take actions and you can get through it and you can plan accordingly to the best of your abilities. So don't give up and don't be embarrassed about your situation, because it is what it is and life happens. Don't allow other people to look down on you because of your situation. Focus on your plan and focus on getting you and your family out of this situation. That is your main priority, not what other people think about you. So again, just stay encouraged and don't give up. And if you're in that space where you want to work on improving your financial literacy, you need guidance with improving your finances, head on over to Clever Girl Finance. We have awesome content on the blog, and we have over 30 free courses to help you set that foundation towards improving your finances. I hope you guys have found these tips useful, and thank you so much for watching and for being here. And if you have enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe and be sure to tell your best girlfriends about it. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.